Welcome to Blueberry's podcast, where I rant about some stuff that I think is pretty crazy in the world right now. So let's just get right into it. So today's topic I'll be leaning on is mostly focused on high school for me. If you guys don't know, I am a ninth grader in high school and I am mostly in my second semester. So school is pretty much ending soon in about April, May, June. So about in 3 months. So let me just explain the high school life. So being in high school, I think it's difficult on my end. Maybe on other people's end, it's easy. I feel like there's a lot of tough challenges that high schools go through that people don't know or don't know about, which is sad, but it's also scary for the new people that's incoming to the 2027 graduates. I feel like being in high school, it's a rocky start. And it's always going to become a rocky start. There's going to be sometimes going to be smooth starts, but it's mostly going to be rocky starts. I feel like as a freshman right now in 2023, where the society and the world we live in, I feel like it's so much harder to concentrate the stuff around us and not the things that you're surrounded with and in, if you know what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes I would zone out in classes and just think about the world outside and be like, wow, the world, how am I in this place where I am? How am I in this place where I am in now? You know what I'm saying? I passed 8th grade, but I would never think of me passing 8th grade ever, or even be able to keep the grades where I am at, now. But, also, I'm just shocked and blessed that, where I am now, I'm blessed for it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't remember a single thing in 8th grade, but I'm somehow keeping the grades up where I should be at and where the GPA that I should be at. And I feel grateful for that, I really do. But sometimes I always watch YouTube. And YouTube is one of those things where you always should believe what's on the internet and think that it's true, but in reality it's not. And it's hard to not believe that because you always look at it and you're like, well, I feel like it's true though, but it's not. And even tons of YouTubers says don't trust YouTube, don't trust the internet, etc., etc. And nobody really listens to that because that advice is nothing to us until we actually know the meaning of it. And that happened to me at the start of freshman as a high schooler at a new school in a new place, moved there. I was pretty much nervous because the school that I go to right now has tons of school funds and the lunches are great. We have vending machines, great nurses that actually cares about us, etc., etc. But once you get into your classes, it doesn't feel like how it is on YouTube, where YouTube makes it seem like, oh, it's this perfect thing where where homework and classwork are really easy. You're not going to get stressed out of it and stuff, which is such a lie. And I feel like YouTubers who does productive day in my life as a junior, senior, or freshman or whatever doesn't show you the reality of the mental breakdowns, the crying, the amount of homework you're leaning on. I mean, they say that in videos. They're like, I'm going to be an all-nighter and do tons of homework that I got to finish. But they're not saying the toughness of it. Even if you're in a different high school, I think that you should still tell your audience about oh, you shouldn't be stressed for high school, but high school, there's going to be times where you are going to get burnt out, where your mental health is going to drain down, where you're not going to get enough sleep like you're supposed to be. There's all these stuff that comes into it, and it's sad that they don't say that. So when you are watching so much YouTube videos and you're seeing YouTubers doing work and being productive, you're like, oh my God, it's so easy. But when you're actually in high school like me, it's a whole different world. It's not like how YouTube is, a picture perfect place. And I think that that's just the start of it, of how YouTube actually is. Sometimes I wonder why YouTube would do that, or why YouTubers who does high school videos would do that. I mean, they show pictures of them crying, but they never really show them why they're crying. Not every YouTuber shows them why they're crying, and I'm not going to name certain YouTubers, but there are YouTubers that I can think of straight away. I can think of a YouTuber who has shown pictures of them crying and who has explained about it, but their audience, even though they have over millions of subscribers, it's not enough to reach out to those older audience that's in high school. I mean, that's in middle school still, and it's really sad. I mean, even if it depends on what school you're in, I think that you should still explain to your audience about it. Because, showing your audience this picture perfect school day and high school day and being it so smooth with laughing and giggling with your friends and stuff, people think that that's the expectation that's going to happen in high school. And it's really not. I mean, yes, there is going to be giggling and stuff, but it's not going to be exactly like that, And it's sad, but it's YouTube. What can you really do? Being in high school as a freshman, came to the school building, I was so nervous, anxious, scared for my life, etc., etc. I'm speechless because the work that they give us is just to me difficult. I mean, what I'm saying, it's watching so much YouTube videos of vloggers saying oh, it's gonna be, they're not saying it's easy, but they show that it's easy. But then when you do the work, or when you're in high school and you're doing the classwork, the homework and stuff, it's not easy. It's one of those hard things, and it's hard to tell people that, or reach out, or tell people who's gonna be incoming or oncoming to high school. I think it's unfair for the people who have afternoon clubs, sports, and stuff, and they still have math homework, all these other homeworks to do, but they don't have the time. Your time management is such a key thing when you're in high school. If you don't use that wisely, like me, then you're not gonna get where you are. At the moment, I got to the grade where I am now with A's and B's, but at semester 1 for me, it was like that, but not really at the beginning. I was at a really rocky path. I was not where I was supposed to be, and I'm sad that I gotta say that, but it's so true. Being in high school is one of those things where you never know if it's gonna be a good day or a bad day. Your mental health is always gonna go down no matter what reason because of classes, especially physics and algebra. If you're not good at those like me, you're not gonna get where you are, and it's sad. But what can you really do about that? What can you really do? And you're definitely going to be subject lagged from whatever classes you have, And it's sad, but that's life, That's really life of being a high schooler. And you got to get used to it. Even if you try setting a really good time management, I think it's difficult because you're always going to get something that's going to push it or ruins it, I think that teachers and especially high school teachers, they have such high expectations of you being smart or you being educated or you knowing this already, even though you forget about it because you had summer break, And that's what's happening in my high school at the moment. I have certain subject teachers who gives out tests and quizzes and stuff, because it's almost the end of the school year. Semester is about to be closing soon, and they're pushing out all these work and expecting you to know them, or expecting you that or your previous middle school teacher have taught you this and you should have known it by now. But no, we don't know about that, And it's sad because you're gonna get not the best scores. Even if you try so hard to remember, looking back at your notes, you're not going to remember that. No matter how neat or how good you write with instructions of how to do this problem and stuff, you're never going to understand it still because everything looks like you. It's like alien words to you. Everything you look at, you're like, what in the world am I looking at? Because it's true. You don't understand these stuff, and the teacher expects you to do that. It's the issue with high school teachers. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, that's high school, and that's what you gotta do. There's always gonna be fun times and sad times. At the moment of my year in being in high school, if people were wondering, my mental health has declined drastically, and it's such a key thing. And the worst thing about being a high schooler is when you are when you're not even a sophomore, junior, or senior yet, where you can't even drive a car yet. And so you're gonna rely on your parents, or you gotta rely on a bus. And riding on a bus is great in my opinion, because I get to relax and just think about, I don't know, myself. I don't know. But the also issue is that being the closest one, or being the one of the fourth ones to get picked up by the bus, and having such an early time is so difficult, because I gotta wake up at 5 in the morning and get myself ready and then eat breakfast. Okay. And then my bus arrives, and then I gotta quickly run out the door before my bus drives away. It's such a issue that I don't like, and I hate it. But when your school's far away and your parents are busy and your parents don't want to waste gas and stuff, they rely on the school bus, and that's the issue right there. Where that's why my time management is so bad, because of that reason. I think I'm trying to not blame the school, but it's also what I think of at the moment. And it's sad that I gotta think of like that, but it's what high school is. I think there's also one thing in high school that like people don't know about, or the upcoming people don't know about, is that there's gonna be tons of cyberbullying, and a tons of fighting going on over stuff, and your past history will be digged up, and there's gonna be digital footprint. Even if you never did something bad, there's gonna be one of those people in your school who's gonna bring up your bad past and haunt you with it, and it's sad, but that's why you gotta let it out now than never, because when you don't let it out, it's gonna become this worse and worse situation where people's gonna talk about it forever, no matter what. There's literally stuff that I can remember when we had online or virtual Zoom meetings. I can remember some students saying not appropriate stuff, and that's still gonna be in it. It's sad, but what can you do? I think cyberbullying is such a big thing, and also high school people being judgmental over what you're wearing and the style of clothes you're wearing and stuff. Especially me being in a rich school, I always gotta wear a hoodie over myself because I'm uncomfortable with people judging me. Like, I'm scared that people's gonna judge me to a point where I don't even want to go to school at this point, and it's scary. But it's a tough world out there, and that's what high school has become, a world where people will judge you, but you don't know that, and it's sad. But, that's that. But that's just one of the things about being in high school. And it's something that I've been wanting to discuss about in a more professional-ish way. But, and I keep zoning out every single 2 seconds when I'm talking about high school, because there's so much stuff. But in my high school, there's always going to be a fight, at least almost every single week. And there was one last week. But that's not the point of this podcast. But that's just something I want to say. But, yeah, I hope this is somewhat relatable for any high schoolers, and it's normal when your grades decrease down, because it's not gonna be as easy as you think it is. Even if you were a straight A student and you got all these awards and stuff, high school is gonna be different. It's not gonna be the same thing. Even if you're in pre-algebra and stuff, the real algebra is gonna be harder than you think, and it's sad, but it's true. But yeah, that's all. Anyways, bye.